Hello, justtwogood here, and I got most LEGO Marvel sets. To figure out the worst LEGO Marvel sets, I had to buy a lot I never thought I would buy, which I avoided for being bad in the first place. I also built some sets that could make the list that were just laying around that I had sealed all these years. Hell, there were even sets that I bought multiple copies of recently because I didn't have them built anymore, so I wanted to give them a fair chance on this list. Heck, excluding con exclusives and other promos, I think the only LEGO Marvel Superhero set I don't own is the Helicarrier from 2015. I don't think that's a bad set, it's just not a set for me. Regardless, there's a bunch of sets I do think are poorly made. We'll only be counting the 2012 sets to 2021 LEGO Marvel sets, as the 2022 sets I haven't gotten my hands on yet, and I also will not be considering 4+ sets or polybags. There's so many sets that almost made the list, trust me. Man, I was so hard on this Hulk vs. Red Hulk set when it first came out. I avoided buying it for so long, and I put it at the top of my bad sets with good minifigures list, and maybe I should have waited until I actually bought it to judge a set that hard, because I bought it to do this list justice, and honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, you see how low it is on the list? This is still a bad set, but it comes to the price as the worst part. 60 bucks is ridiculous for what comes in this set. Yes, I know big figs cost a little more to make. The builds here are dumb, but fun dumb. I like the colors on each. Why are Hulk and Red Hulk battling with monster carts? Like, these builds are not perfect, they're not great, but they're on a level of ridiculousness that you'll see some vehicles later on in this list don't reach, and I appreciate that. Regardless, the play feature launching them is pretty fun, which takes up a bulk of the building. The minifigures friggin' rock in this set. Damn it, you know what, that set, this is not going on the list. That's it, I like it now. Sorry Hulk vs. Red Hulk. You're overpriced, but a lot of good sets are. I like you. Here's the real number 10. That 2014 LEGO Spider-Copter. It's always been a stinker in my book. This set has a very strange price tag of 45 bucks. Why not 40 or 50? It's a typical Marvel fare where the best part are the minifigures and the big fig. Like the Green Goblin big fig is kind of awesome. It's the only Luke Cage we ever gotten from LEGO, and there's this pretty cool MJ. But the rest of the set is this unnecessary build of a Spider-Copter. I mean, can I go on asking why there's a Spider-Copter when Spider-Man could just swing from building to building, and how effective an actual Spider-Copter vehicle would be? Like, wouldn't you want it not wanting this obvious Spider-Man branding? All the villains will know when you're coming. And logistically, this set only has enough space to sit one minifigure. If it was a small copter, that would be fine, but the massive size asks for it to fit more than one minifigure. The middle part is not really a cockpit, it's not a seat. Basically, there's this brief 1x2 area to have Spider-Man stand on, and then push this peg to make him fly out and hang from the copter. In my opinion, it just compromises more space that could have been used to put the 3 minifigures in. I should like this more. I mean, it's from an animated Spider-Man show, and while some of the colors almost portray a fun and wacky build, the more neutral colors at the top and the bottom ground it and give it a more realistic look. Like, you can have a Spidey-copter, just go all out with how goofy it is. This just looks bad. Not too goofy to be a fun build, but the concept of a Spider-Copter is too ridiculous to fit such a realistic look. The 2020 Spider-Jet set isn't a much better set, where it only has one minifigure that stood exclusive, but at least that set is only 30 bucks, and the Jet build there is much sleeker. The Venom mech wasn't great there, again, not a great set, but not as bad as the Spider Helicopter, which is number 10 on this list. The $40 Spider Monster Truck is one of the more recent examples, coming out early this year in 2021. You're going to hear me say this a lot in this video, but why does this hero need this vehicle? Why does Spider-Man need a monster truck? Well, it's not a question I should ask. I should ask, how popular are monster trucks with kids ages 8 and up? Yes, LEGO makes these vehicles because they sell with kids. But that doesn't mean I have to like it. I'm 23. I might have been more down if this set was a generic monster truck. However, this uses the Spider-Man color scheme, has a literal Spider-Man text logo at the side. Like, what? And I know some monster trucks have this, but the van look at the back is really lame. I kind of wish it was one of those pick-up bed monster trucks. The minifigure selection is better for people who didn't buy the Daily Bugle, but I do own that set, and all of them come in that set, and some come in other cheaper sets too. The Iron Man 3 Extremis Seaport Battle is a $20 2013 set. Yeah, this is not from the movie. I'm not sure where the idea of a boat battle came from. I guess because the climax is on a Florida pier, right? Anyways, yeah, the build is irrelevant to the film. I love speedboat builds, but the dark green and yellow color scheme here does not work for me. That is not a great color for a speedboat. I wish this was just some generic speedboat and not something themed after the 10 Rings. It would have worked better that way. The stickers don't work either. The minifigures are good for a $20 set with 2 exclusives. Iron Man is the same one from the Malibu Mansion, but still a great figure. The War Machine figure is freaking awesome. The Aldrich Killian looks nothing like the character. What is with Marvel in this hairpiece and inaccurate characters? Like, I'm thinking the 2012 Hawkeye, which was awful, looked nothing like the character. Anyways, he had a glow-in-the-dark design, this Aldrich Killian, I guess to represent the extremists. It's really weird, but it just makes him look like Michael Myers, honestly. The $10 Iron Man 3 Mandarin Ultimate Showdown set is like Galador. It sucks so bad. It's just a joke in the LEGO community. What the hell does this have to do with Iron Man 3? What is this vehicle? A Zamboni? A tank? A go-kart? Again, the Iron Man 3 sets have a huge problem with accuracy. It feels like Marvel let LEGO in the dust because, well, they didn't want to spoil any plot details or the film's twists and turns. This go-kart never appears in the film. Heck, there was no final battle with the Mandarin. He was a joke villain, an actor called Trevor, concealing the true villain of Iron Man 3, Aldrich Killian. The Zamboni go fart from hell is adorably awful. I feel bad for the dude, honestly. Like, it's just a unique build, but what the hell was LEGO going for? What is this vehicle even? Regardless, there's a great part of the set, which are the two minifigures. Trevor the terrorist, like, this is a brutal outfit I don't recognize from the film. I hope it's all just acting still. Then the Heartbreaker Iron Man outfit, which is honestly one of my favorites to this day, and they haven't remade that yet, have they? The $20 LEGO Avengers 2019 Outrider Attack would have topped this list if it wasn't doubling as a battle pack. Like a bad battle pack, $20 like those new Star Wars sets, but a battle pack nonetheless, where it actually gives 3 of the same villain, the Outriders. The Captain America here is technically not exclusive at this point. Regardless, the build frickin' sucks. I despise oversized motorcycle sets, which play so many action and license themes. I'm amazed there's not more on this list. Like, this set would have been number 11, even worse than Hulk vs. Red Hulk, but this is a top 10. There's been other awful ones too. The build here looks very blocky, not sleek like a motorcycle, and overall it's just oversized for Cap. The last one from 2012, which also wasn't in the movie, was at least pretty sleek. This was from a wave meant to coincide with the release of Endgame, but LEGO and Disney avoided spoilers, so most of the sets from this wave are just random things thrown together because of this. They don't even advertise it as Avengers Endgame sets. I'm guessing this was the same case with the Iron Man 3 sets to an extent, to avoid spoilers. Captain America vs. Hydra is a $20 set, released as a part of a 2-set wave in spring 2014, based on the Avengers Assemble cartoon, releasing around the same time as Captain America the Winter Soldier. With us getting these 2 sets instead of sets on that movie, this Captain America specific set was the most disappointing of the 2. The build was this awful tank, which did not feel like a tank whatsoever because LEGO is too scared to do military stuff, even though they've broken that rule many times before. It just does not work for me. I don't know what they were going for here because it does not resemble much of a tank. But hey, at least we got an amazing Captain America, and it contained our first Red Skull and Hydra Goon figure, so it wasn't abysmal at 20 bucks. It just had an awful build. The 2020 LEGO Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock is a $20 set I call the Spider Roller. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It's very confusing. What is this build? The Spider Crawler, which came out a year before, was basically this build but better, even if it was not that great. I actually think the Venom Crawler is the best of the 3. The color scheme does it wonders. It makes sense for a Venom design. Anyways, enough of those sets. For the set actually on this list, the Spider Roller, as I say. The build does split into an oversized motorcycle and the Spider Crawler. And yeah, you guys know I don't like the oversized motorcycles. The Spider Crawler design doesn't even work because there was like a polybag released around the same time. I think it was 2019. That does it right. At least this set has an exclusive Spider-Girl. That's the only figure in here that's exclusive that hasn't been reprinted. The Starkjet was the biggest Spider-Man Far From Home set from 2019 at $70 for some reason. Maybe I'd be lighter on this set if it was 50 bucks. It sucks because this set should be bigger. Keep it at 70 and add more bricks where it's clocking in around 500. The friggin' windows are stickers. That looks awful. Sure, adding size to fit the windows might put this over 70 bucks, but instead we have this half-assed version of what is a pretty cool looking jet in the movies. The design is truncated and loses most of its color. They just went all white with this LEGO version. Like that one stripe, was it black, was it blue, running throughout the whole ship? I kind of wanted that, and it's just gone from the design. Another thing I don't like is all the studs showing. I guess I was used to the smoother round design of the passenger plane from 2006, one of my favorite LEGO City sets, and one that I had when I was young. I mean, just look at the design of this passenger plane, which was originally retailing for $40 in 2006, and then this set, originally $70 in 2017. I will say the interior of the set is good. However, the minifigure selection was the worst of the Far From Home sets, with no exclusive minifigures whatsoever. Best part was getting modern Nick Fury for cheap, but that problem was quickly solved when LEGO spammed that same version of him in sets the following 2 years. And my gosh, the Happy Hogan minifigure looks nothing like the character. I don't know what they were going for here. The face and hair just do not match. Did they not get the rights to use Jon Favreau's likeness or something? And this set was the only time we ever got a Happy Hogan minifigure, and it's probably the only time we ever will. Ugh. As boring as it is, this 2020 $10 Spider-Man set can make the #1 spot. First off, this was the first wave of mechs, where we had an Iron Man and Thanos mech. Those were not great already. I have no clue why Thanos needed a mech, but this Spider-Man one is the worst of the bunch. Why would Spider-Man need a mech this clunky? The branding of spider colors and the logo makes it look extra lame. For some reason, they basically redid the mech, falling into the same problems last spring in this $20 2-pack. Even worse, the other non-4+ sets of this wave had Spider-Man with dual molded legs, blue pants, and red shoes, quote unquote, and this set gives us the much more common, undesired plain blue legs. It was LEGO cheaping out. That's extra lame. I'm honestly not a huge fan of the mech trope of sets, since we get so many mechs nowadays, and just for Marvel alone, we get $10 mechs galore. It's a very common trope that's overdone. I really kind of miss those $10 Mighty Micros. Those were goofy in the best way, and even if the vehicle sucked, every set came with 2 exclusive minifigures. But we're stuck with the mechs for now, even though these just got cancelled, so who knows how long this mech line will last. I do like the 2022 ones much better because those have interesting figures, and honestly, the designs just work a little bit better in my opinion. Like even the Iron Man one's better than that old one from 2020. The LEGO Marvel Ultra Build sets from 2012 have mostly been forgotten. I mean, these were released with the first LEGO Marvel sets back in spring 2012. The Iron Man one is easily the best since Ultra Builds are construction figures, think Bionicle and Hero Factory. Construction parts in general have a more mechanical design since the characters of Bionicle and Hero Factory where they were first introduced are biomechanical. An iron robotic suit is perfect for this system. And hell, this 2012 set looks a billion times better than this 2022 set. If this set was out, it'd probably make the list. The Captain America one is actually not as bad as I expected. It's not a great set by any means, but I would expect this to make the list. The more comic-like look with the angular design works with this Captain America. The lack of pupils helps so much. However, the Hulk one is #1 on this list. It is awful. I mean, for the face alone, those eyes do not work, and the gritting face is just hilarious, where the dimples make him look old or like he's constipated. Even worse, there's a lot of gray and black pieces that are awful in the contrast with the Hulk's green. There's too many ball joints that need to be concealed. I'm not sure why LEGO didn't make these parts green. Is it because this torso piece never came in green before? I get that these gray pieces act as like armor on the Hulk, but armor on the Hulk wasn't even something from the first Avengers movie this was based on. It just looks jarring on the figure and incomplete. And oh my gosh, the back of the figure is so bad. They don't even try to cover up all those joints. The angular comic design works with Captain America, but doesn't work with the Hulk, where the Hulk is a green monster without armor and tech. The figure needed to have more roundness. It needed to have a more human-like appearance in terms of the body and the shape and everything. But instead, it looks like a Hulk robot mess. It's awful. it's just awful. At least it was just $15. I mean, there were like no minifigures to save it or anything. It would have been a waste of money. Anyways, that's it for the list. I always was kicking around the idea of worst Marvel sets ever since I did the best Marvel sets video back in 2016. I need to make a remake of that. I think in 2022 I will. But anyways, this was a fun list to do. I think I'm gonna move away from the more negative ones for like the next list or two. Next one has to be most wanted, but I'm waiting for the Sonic Mania set to be revealed. Let me know in the comments what's your worst LEGO Marvel sets. Subscribe for more LEGO Marvel content because I still love the theme and just LEGO lists and content in general. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.